what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Beemer Fam.
If you guys haven't seen the recent videos, we officially started the 3.0 CSL build on my BMW M4.
So since we've had this kit for just about a week, I've come across plenty of things I do not like about it.
So for everybody who has not seen this kit before, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown on what exactly we're looking at. So this bumper is redesigned from the original, and they modeled it after the 3.0 CSL homage car, the one that's going for north of $1 million at this moment. That car was based off the G82 platform, and a lot of people didn't like the front end design on the G80s in general. So I'm definitely one of those people. I'm more of the old school, smaller grills kind of guy. So with that being said, you can see the grills are redesigned and they are smaller. So these are pretty much the exact same grills from the 3.0 CSL homage car as far as size, and then also this whole area in the middle section of the front bumper is also from the 3.0 CSL. Similar design as well, how it comes up at an angle. It's got this carbon piece in the middle. But what I find interesting is the outer edge of the bumper. They've added a similar piece from the BMW M2, the F87, to kind of tie it all together, make it more aggressive. You also see this kind of fin piece, kind of like a shark fin on Lamborghini Huracans as well. But if you look at it closely, it's definitely very reminiscent of a few BMW M cars. So not only is the front bumper on this car, but it comes with widened fenders. So this car, the whole front end kit is 1.5 inches wider than stock. So you can see it has homage pieces from the 3.0 CSL, and actually the original 3.0 CSL from the 70s has this nice carbon bar along the fender. But we've also got louvered fenders as well that are fully functional to let that heat dissipate out the engine bay. What's cool about this kit, you get some active aero in the fenders, more aggressive than the F80 generation, but it just kind of really adds to the character of the car. It makes it super aggressive. This kit alone, just the front end kit, front bumper on the fenders, makes this car look so much more aggressive than stock. It's wild. But with that, because it does that, that leads me into my issues with this kit. Since it is wider, the fender liners are actually shortened. So if you come back in here, fender liners don't actually touch the edge of the fender. So we're gonna have to extend these fender liners for it to be fully flush, and that's all the way around, especially when we get over here towards the parking sensor. You can see it's literally exposed right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. There we go. You can see the parking sensor is fully exposed. So we're gonna have to get some material to cover this up. I think fender liner is made out of thermoplastic. So that's something we should be able to pick up at a local store and kind of extend these fender liners. That's kind of my biggest thing. I just want everything, all the technology and electronics to be protected. So that's one of the first things we got to do is close these gaps up. So speaking of the fender liner area around the wheels, that brings up my next issue with this kit is the fact that I have 20 mil spacers on stock wheels. That's the biggest spacer I could find anywhere on the internet, and we have those on the front. A lot of people think I don't have spacers on this car right now, but we have the most aggressive spacers available, and there's still a big gap. So this kit requires wider wheels, at least bare minimum wider tires.
And on that note, I'm super happy to announce Forged Light is sending us a full set of wheels for this car that are wider, 1 inch wider than stock. So this fitment is going to be fixed real soon. But in the meantime, we have to rock this kind of worse than OEM kind of wheel fitment in the front. But it's tough. We've added some 18 mil spacers in the back, and you can see how aggressive that is. I mean, that is amazing. But my least favorite angle is from right here, how that wheel is just tucked in there. So that is going to be fixed. We have wheels on the way, and I'm super stoked to see what Forged Light wheels are going to look like on this car. They're going to be fully forward, so we're going to be saving weight from the factory wheels, but they're also going to be wider and functional as well. And then we'll add some wider tires, as wide as we can get, to really make sure we have really girthy stance up front. And then another thing about this kit is we had to remove a lot of functional parts down here, including the brake ducts, some air scooping ducts that were factory that feeds the air straight into the wheel well and cools the brakes. Also had to remove some foam off the crash bar, and then we painted the crash bar black, so you can't really see it. Usually it's aluminum, you would easily see it. That's something also you guys are gonna have to do. You're gonna have to paint or wrap that crash bar. Probably paint it, because wrap is not gonna stick to it well. These grills themselves is a real tough material to paint, so we actually did a lot of sanding on these grills, and you can see there's a little bit of orange peel. It's not the perfect finish. I mean, there was hours spent just on these grills alone to sand them, to paint them, and it still didn't come out the best. Grills are 3D printed, so the material itself is kind of tough,
and they don't offer carbon grills yet. So I'm really pushing for them to try and manufacture some kind of carbon grill for this car. But with that being said, it's something to keep in mind. Now that this paint is fully cured, we could sand this down some more and then maybe apply some wrap, and that might make it look a little smoother. But while we're on that topic, let me know what you guys think. Gloss, or should we do kind of a frozen black, a satin or matte black on the grill?
Before we continue on with today's video, we get to thank the sponsor, which is Simply Carbon Fiber.
We're happy to say we've been working with Simply Carbon Fiber for years at this point, and they just released these new forged carbon fiber phone cases with colored flakes in them. And you can see the blue flakes in this one directly matches the color on my Portamao Blue M4, which is cool. They have other colors as well. They've got yellow, red, green, purple, and more. And if you guys aren't into forged carbon, they have the more traditional carbon fiber phone cases as well. It's great because this phone case is super lightweight, and it's also very durable and strong since it is carbon fiber. And not only that, Simply Carbon Fiber has other carbon fiber accessories, more traditional carbon fiber accessories like watches, wallets, money clips, and more. If you guys are interested in getting yourself or a loved one some carbon fiber accessories, use the links in the description or use the code BF10 at simplycarbonfiber.com for 10% off. With less being said, let's continue on with today's video. You can see there's this nice big carbon piece right here, and it has the company, the manufacturer's logo, Geeks, right here, which is awesome, but it's kind of tough because it doesn't really leave a nice place to put the stock OEM M4 badge on here. I'll put up a few photos real quick to see kind of the few different variations I've tried to play with to try and put the M4 badge on this Fender, and I just haven't really found a spot that looks really good. So, and I also looked at the original 3.0 CSL car, and that does not have any badges on the side fender, and they also have a similar design on the factory car. So maybe we'll just leave it blank. But that's something to keep in mind. You're not going to really be able to add, I mean, you could, we put it over the Geeks logo, it just didn't look right because there's little embossed pieces. It just didn't look super clean like the factory car. So probably best to leave this blank, but it's going to be up to you guys. Another issue about this kit is because the front end is so aggressive and looks absolutely amazing, that kind of brings the issue to the back of the car. So you got to really add the right mods to the back, and we even have a carbon fiber diffuser, a full titanium valve master exhaust with 4-inch tips, but that's still not enough. So we're going to need carbon pieces, this carbon extension right here that has a big fin that pops up to match that big fin on the side skirts, an MP style rear bumper extension piece. We're getting those on the way from West Coast Euros. But the biggest thing is going to be this trunk spoiler. We can either go with a high kick spoiler or we can go with a proper GTS style wing. What do you guys think? You have to let me know, but the trunk lid definitely needs some aggression. I mean, just looking at it from this angle, the front super aggressive, looks awesome, but now the back is kind of lopsided and looks way too tame for my liking. In addition to that, we're going to upgrade these tail lights as well, and that should make the rear end even more aggressive on top of that. But from this angle, you can kind of get a better look. The rear end is real kind of tame, mostly OEM to be honest, aside from the exhaust, and then that front end, even just from here, is just straight aggressive. So that is one thing I cannot stress enough about this kit, guys. It is not a straightforward kit like some of the other kits like Adra out there. This is a kit that's going to require a lot of attention, a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of resources, and a lot of patience. And if you guys aren't up for that, I wouldn't even sign up, because like I mentioned, the things that we're gonna have to do to this car to make it right, we're talking about wings, go anywhere from 500 to 1,000 plus. We're talking widened tires and wheels, you know, you're talking multiple thousands there. And then we're talking about side skirts, extensions to kind of match the wide in front. We've got to widen the rear with those extensions on the side skirt, those fins and everything. So we're talking thousands in that department as well. And then we're talking taillights and stuff. Obviously, you don't have to do all this to your car, but this is something, in my opinion, for it to be done right and for it to look OEM grade-ish, it's going to require a lot. So that's just something to keep in mind for you guys watching out there thinking about getting this kit. Aside from that is the actual car itself, the color. So because this material is very different than the factory car, it is fiberglass with carbon fiber. Knowing we didn't blend the paint with the whole car, there is a little bit difference of paint quality, the color. So right now you're not going to be able to notice at all. It's only in certain lightings, and the biggest lighting I've noticed is at night at a gas station. That exposes all the flaws of this paint. You could wrap this kit and go that route and you would not have that issue, but if you really want to do it right and paint it, and if you have a metallic paint like mine and a blue paint, apparently blue and metallic are the hardest color paints to match. Even people who have access to manufacture paint matching techniques often can't really get it perfect. There's really no way to get paint matching perfect.
That is something I saw you guys comment a lot about, was the paint was not matching. And that's something I need you guys to keep in mind with this kit. I had it painted and I didn't do any conditioning to the paint afterward whatsoever. Usually when you get parts painted like that and you don't blend it, you have to do the proper treatment, including color correction, polishing, and even waxing afterward. And this kit did not have that done when I revealed it to you guys. And that's something we're gonna be doing in today's video. So now we're gonna go ahead and hop inside the M4. We're gonna head over to 3D Car Care. They're really gonna do the proper color correcting, the polishing. They're really gonna wash this thing and get it right and do the best that they can to condition the fenders and bumper after the paint and do it properly. So let's go ahead and hop inside the car and head over to 3D.
As you guys can see, we made it up to 3D Car Care, and they're getting started right away on my M4. And they're starting off with the iron remover on the wheels to free up all the brake dust. And what's great about this product, all you have to do is just spray it on the wheel, do some minor brushing, and then rinse it right off. You can see all that purple stuff is all the brake dust and the dirt just coming off with ease. And what's left over is a very clean wheel that looks absolutely amazing. And out of all 3D's products, this is by far my favorite product, just because it saves me so much time cleaning these beautiful competition style wheels on the G80 platform. 3D Car Care likes to use a non-bucket method to where we foam the car up once, we let it just sit there for a few minutes, and you can see kind of what the car would look like if it were white. It looks really cool with all the foam on it. You can see all the dirt just running off the carbon. It looks absolutely amazing. Now we're just going to go ahead and rinse it off. One thing to keep in mind with the first layer of foam, we're actually not scrubbing the paint at all. We're not wiping it down. We're just simply rinsing it. On the second coat, you can see it's going on right now. This is the one we're going to get hands on the car. Really, not too firm, not too soft, but you really want to scrub all that dirt off. Just make sure it's nice and clean. And you can see Ike from 3D is doing a great job cleaning this car. And you can see the Portimao blue is starting to come out even more. Now, last thing to do to decontaminate the paint is just dry it off, and then we're going to bring it inside 3D's nice detailing booth, where they have even more of their products, where we can kind of see the M4 in a better light. Now that the paint is clean and decontaminated, we can kind of get started on the products that 3D will be using today.
So in this group, what we're doing here today, we're going to do a little bit of wet sanding. We're going to be wet sanding the front bumper of this BMW right here. We're going to be using 1500 and 3000 grit sandpaper from RBL. It's wet. And then to correct it, we're going to use ACA 510 and 520. And maybe a wool pad, a foam pad, and a finishing pad. I'm going to see which one works better for me. And also too, I'm going to be using a 3-inch polisher from RBL. It's a 12mm throat.
Huge shout out to Frank. He's an awesome guy, but more importantly, he knows his stuff when it comes to paint and detailing.
All right, so as lubrication, we're going to use 3D Glow Series clay lube. It's just a lube for your sandpaper. It could be a lube for your sandpaper or a lube for your clay bar. You want to keep even passes, overlap all the time. Be careful with the edges. Don't go too crazy on the edge. All right, so now that we're done using sandpaper, wet sanding it, I'm going to use ACA 510, our premium compound.
As you can see, he's masking off important parts of the car because he is going to begin sanding. He's got about 3 different stages of sanding to do. And he's going to be buffing, polishing. And I believe they're going to be starting with a correcting compound, then moving to a polishing compound, and then finishing off with a wax. So as you can see, he is sanding the car. It's kind of scary because you kind of see the paint in a very rough condition. It's not a very natural thing to see, but trust the process. Let this guy cook because he knows what he's doing. So we're going to have Frank continuing to mask off those nice laser lights, the carbon pieces on the fenders, and more, just to make sure everything is nice and protected. You can see he has mostly finished the fenders. You can get a sneak peek of it right there. And now he's continuing on towards the bottom of the bumper. Now keep in mind, this isn't just one stage of sanding. This is me capturing 3 different stages kind of seamlessly for you guys to enjoy. So it does take a bit of time to do this. It took probably at least 3 hours just to knock this out. Obviously, at your own pace, you could get it done faster or slower. But you kind of see the paint, the fenders, when it's sanded, it looks a little scary, but it's nice because it's all going to buff out. Like I said, let Frank cook. As you can see now, they are finished with these fenders and front bumper, so now they're going to do some soft correction on the hood as well. So you can see Ike on the right wiping off while Frank is polishing. So they got a nice two-man team up here at 3D Car Care. And I absolutely love working with these guys. They're doing absolutely amazing work. You see they just care about the cars and products, with real attention to detail, which is something that's more rare these days, I feel like. Now that they're wrapping up, let's go ahead and park this thing up outside and let's see what it looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we got the M4 parked up and they did the absolute best that they can. I think they did an amazing job because the paint is really popping right now and it's really matching. See up close, just look at the paint. It's literally like glass right now. It's got the products on there. It's pretty much ready to go for the new color. Now the next step is to get these fender liners sorted. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the store. We're gonna extend these fender liners and we're just gonna go from there. Our first stop is Lowe's, and our goal here is to find a piece of plastic that isn't too thin, but also isn't too thick, that we can essentially modify and add it onto the existing fender liner. And right when I was about to give up, we found a nice piece of plastic that was already pre-curved and might fit really well inside of the fender liner. So we're gonna go ahead and cash out, head back to the house and install these pieces of plastic. So as you can see, this is a thin slash thick layer of plastic, and it actually bends just a little bit. It's kind of curved already. I think that'll be good to go inside here in the fender liner. So we're gonna have to trim these up. And if you look closely, actually from this part down is perfectly flush with the bumper. It's this part and up. We're gonna try and just close this area off. We're able to just place this so that sensor is hidden and protected. So I'm thinking we just glue this in here like that. It has these louvers in here, and we can make this active arrow here in the future. So we also did the same on this side as well. See how it's all black in there? You used to be able to see right through the vents. So now that's closed off, and it's the same thing. They're gonna have these louvers in there, so then we can make that actual active arrow as well. And now that that's done, that'll do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check us out on Instagram at Beemer Fam. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.